Hello everyone and welcome to Skincare with Hyram. If you don't know who I am, my name is Hyram and I'm passionate about teaching you how to perfect your skincare routine. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. In this video, we're going to be talking about Emma Chamberlain's skincare brand, Bad Habit Beauty, and my thoughts on the brand, because there's a lot, as usual. Today, we get to talk a little bit about one of my favorite people in the world. I'm not shy to admit it. Emma freaking Chamberlain. You guys know I love her if you haven't been able to tell by the amount of times I mentioned her on my channel, or if you missed it, the collaboration video that we did together. I don't know why I'm doing a TikTok dance. I still can't get over the fact that Emma Chamberlain and I collaborated. Like, it feels like a fever dream. Pinch me, bitch. Like, honestly, how can life get better than that? Like, I've peaked. But seriously, I think Emma Chamberlain is amazing. I've always loved and supported her on my channel. And recently, she became the ambassador for a brand called Bad Habit Beauty. She's really, really closely aligned with this brand. I mean, she's basically the face of the brand. When I walked by the Morphe store last week, I saw that her face was like plastered on the wall and I felt like a proud mama. She's growing up. No, but I was pretty excited for her. But I will say, with the brand, I kind of was nervous about looking at the ingredient list, and for a while I was just like, good job, Emma, but I'm not gonna look at the ingredient list because I'm too scared to see what's in them. Because I want to support her, but you guys know how picky I am with ingredients. And obviously because I'm friends with Emma, there is a bias there at some level. And guys, I have to say, she's literally the nicest person in the world. She's so sweet, exactly the same on camera as she is in person. I have to look at this from an unbiased perspective. I went out, bought all the products, even though they later sent me the entire line. So thank you for sending it to me, but I still bought all the products myself and decided to try them out and give my honest, brutal feedback on the formulas. So let's get into this shit. And I do have some thoughts at the end that I do want to share after seeing some of the discourse surrounding this launch. Some things I feel need to be said. Not to be shady, but yeah. If you're familiar with my Truth About videos, I talk about skincare brands, the products they have, and what my opinion is from a formulation perspective, because we as consumers can only look at the ingredient list before purchasing a product. And I like to share my thoughts on the ingredient list of products, and you guys seem to like it, so I'll keep doing it. It's basically the mental process I run through before deciding to purchase a product or not. I'm gonna go through the products ingredient by ingredient because ingredients don't lie, bitch. And then give you my final thoughts on the brand and whether I think it's worth it or not. So let's get into it. Now, as I get into this video, I should say that while Emma Chamberlain is closely associated with this brand, she's the face of the brand. I don't know if she has any like ownership or something like that, but definitely very closely tied and really championing the launch and the success of the brand. I don't believe Emma had a part in the actual like formulation of the products. I think she was more so focused on what the end experience was like. So trying out the products, seeing if she liked them, and then because she loves them, she was able to work with them closely and be the face of the brand. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I just care about the ingredients, the quality of the products, and if they're accessible. Honestly, I think it was more so just a marketing approach, and a very smart one at that, because you put Emma's name on anything and people are gonna buy that shit. That girl is powerful. Honestly, the brand overall seems to be really on par with what Emma's brand is all about, like embracing imperfections, not feeling the need to be perfect, authenticity, and they really make this apparent on the website, which is something I appreciate, because in this world where perfect skin and perfection are always pursued when those things don't even exist, and refreshing to see that Emma is aligning herself so closely with this brand that seems to represent all of her values. Because that's one of the reasons I love her. She's just so authentic and genuine. But I know, I hear you. You want to learn about the products. Let's just get into the products. I'm going to be listing these from my least favorite to my favorite, starting with the Chill Out Adaptogen Hydrating Mist. Now, this one will come as not a big surprise for a lot of people, because if you don't know, I'm not the biggest face mist person. First of all, I feel like you can get so much more effectiveness through a serum. When you actually spray it on your face, you're going to be losing a lot in the air, thereby wasting some of the product. Now, looking at this ingredient list, this definitely has some really good ones. There's glycerin, which is hydrating. There's caffeine, which is a great antioxidant. Sodium hyaluronate, a concentrated form of hyaluronic acid that draws in moisture from the air into your skin. Kiwi extract, a great antioxidant, and rosemary extract. Not to be confused with rosemary oil. Rosemary oil is an essential oil, but rosemary extract is actually great for the skin and a good antioxidant. But facial mists tend to be formulated with a lot of irritating ingredients. And normally, I'm already someone who's pretty picky about what ingredients I want in products, because I don't want to be exposing my skin to unnecessary irritants every day. With a facial mist, however, you are applying that usually multiple times throughout the day, so your risk of sensitivity and irritation is going to be multiplied by however many times you're reapplying. And a lot of times people like to carry their facial mist with them and spray it throughout the day, so you're just reintroducing that possibility over and over and over again. And that brings into thought two issues I do have with this product. First, it says it has adaptogens. Now, I love adaptogens, and what I've commonly seen ingredients labeled as adaptogens are mushrooms. Mushrooms are amazing adaptogens, and in my opinion, pretty much the best adaptogens that you can find on the market for reducing sensitivity, redness, and just being good for the skin. skin. Now, I have yet to see a product that says it has adaptogens without utilizing mushrooms. And when looking through this ingredient list, the only ingredient I found that could be labeled as an adaptogen is Arctic root extract, which in my experience, I've never seen that labeled as an adaptogen before. And that's the only ingredient I really found to be touted as associated with the calming and controlling benefits that this offers. And I kind of felt a little bit disappointed because I was like, oh, I was kind of expecting a product that had great mushroom extracts to calm down that redness, and really the only thing I could find is Arctic root, which isn't even a mushroom extract. So I was a little bit confused, but if I'm wrong about that, let me know down in the comment section down below. Arctic root could be a common adaptogen. It's just, I feel like only including one adaptogen as opposed to including a blend is a little bit of a fall short for me. Not to mention my biggest issue with this, it has fragrance parfum, which is undisclosed fragrance, which means we don't know what fragrant ingredients are being used. And seeing that also parfum is listed, that means that they could be using synthetic fragrance ingredients, which are no more irritating than natural ingredients, but it does mean that you have a lot more ingredients that could be formulated in this product that we have no idea. And we don't get to know any of them. Yay! I wish that Bad Habit would disclose what fragrant ingredients they're using, because it's kind of disappointing to see that they do use undisclosed fragrance, and that was my biggest not super rare. Honestly, that's pretty much the main factor that you will find in all my Truth About videos. Hyram's always complaining about fragrance. Why won't he give it a rest? Trust, I understand. But still, for companies out there, I'm like, can you just at least tell us what fragrance ingredients are being used? That way we know. And that way people who have specific sensitivities to fragrance ingredients know exactly what's in the product so they can determine whether they can use it or not. Again, it's about accessibility. Next up is the Daily Dose Multivitamin Moisturizer. Now, this kind of caught my eye instantly because it does have, oh, sorry, that was a little messy from me using it. Excuse me. It has an airless pump packaging, which is kind of nice because you're able to ensure that the formula is stable and not exposed to air, and it's a lot more clean. But when I looked at the ingredient list for this product, I was instantly interested. It has glycerin, niacinamide, one of my top ingredients. If you don't have niacinamide in your routine, you need it. Get on it, ho. Dimethicone, which is great to make sure you're not losing water through your skin. Soybean oil, a great nourishing oil. Oat kernel extract and rice extract, which are great for soothing sensitivity and irritation. So I was like, okay, I'm on board with this. However, unfortunately, it is formulated with fragrance parfum, geraniol, limonene, and yellow 5. Now, I've never been the person who necessarily has a problem with dyes, but I do know that a lot of people do have sensitivities to synthetic dyes. So by formulating them, you are excluding a certain percentage of the population from being able to access your products, which I just don't think is necessary when it solely comes down to what the color of the product is. And honestly, looking at the ingredient list, I was like, okay, it doesn't look that bad until I smelled it. How do I describe it? You know the vitamin C powder packets? What are they called? Emergency. Literally smells like Emergency. Very strong fragrance, and when they aren't disclosing what fragrance ingredients are being used and it smells really strong, that is a sign for me to not use the product. So unfortunately, I'm not a fan of this one. It's just too risky and I don't feel super comfortable using it. Oh my god, so all these products are in the other room, and I've had to go into that room 4 times now because I keep forgetting to grab all the products. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Well, it's also 11:30 at night. Okay, here we go. It is the Dewy hemp nourishing facial oil. Yep, I was right. Automatically when I got this one, I wasn't really necessarily interested in it for my skin, but I was still intrigued by the ingredient list just because I have more combination to oily skin and I rarely use facial oils. But this ingredient list definitely impressed me. It has dihetyl succinate. Cannabis sativa oil is the second ingredient, which is great for nourishing and hydrating the skin. Sunflower seed oil is the third ingredient, an amazing moisturizing oil. There's jojoba seed oil, a great moisturizing oil as well. And squalane, one of my favorite oils out there. Turmeric extract, licorice root extract, which works great alongside turmeric to have kind of like a brightening effect for any dark spots on the skin, and moringa seed oil, a great ingredient for reducing sensitivity but also antioxidant protection. Automatically I was like, whoa, this ingredient list is jam-packed with good ones, and even though I'm not a big facial oil person, I really was intrigued to try this one. That is until of course it has fragrance. Now I will say it's not like the most intense fragrance ever, but it's definitely noticeable. It has that essential oil smell. Geraniol, linalool, and funny enough, amber powder, which is interesting because I'm not sure why they would add amber powder to this, maybe to give it a little bit of reflectiveness, but typically I'm not the biggest fan of crushed stone powders in skincare products just because they can increase sensitivity sometimes, and just because I don't feel they're necessary. I will say it's definitely pretty. Look at that oil. It's very pretty. But because of the fragrance and the fragrant components, I just didn't feel comfortable using it, point, which is sad because it has some really great nourishing oils. Next is the Wake Things Up Matcha and Mint Morning Cleanser. This one I was so initially excited to try because typically when it comes to brands that do have ingredients that I don't align with, I always immediately go to their cleanser because in wash-off treatments, I am okay with a little bit more irritating ingredients like fragrance. It's only going to stay on your skin for 30 seconds, so the risk of irritation is very, very low. And so that's why this was one of the first products that I went to. I saw mint in the title, I was like, not in love with that, but again, wash-off treatment, we're good to go. And looking at this ingredient list, it does have good ones. It has glycerin, magnesium aluminum silicate, which is a great clay that helps to absorb excess oil in the skin. It has green tea extract, and propanediol, great for nourishing the skin. However, I was so disappointed to see that one of the top ingredients is sodium C14 through 16 olefin sulfonate. I've talked about this ingredient on my channel before. I just don't think it's a great cleansing agent because it can be overly stripping. And while people with more oily skin may not find it as problematic, people with dry skin will really find this to be overly stripping on their skin. I feel like there's so many good cleansing agents out there that are very gentle. So when I see sodium C14 through 16 olefin sulfonate being used, I'm kind of like, come on guys, like there's so many better cleansing agents out there. Why did we have to settle for this one that can be overly stripping to someone with dry skin? So I'm not crazy about that. It also has peppermint essential oil, which wouldn't be necessarily a huge concern to me, except that it is listed outside of the undisclosed fragrance and parfum that is in this product, which usually means that there's a lot of the essential oil in the product. There's menthol as well, which is really disappointing because menthol, while it does give you this like fun cooling effect, can be irritating to the skin, and I feel like just kind of needs to be left behind in old-fashioned cleansers, and it's also formulated with dyes. So unfortunately, this one really disappointed me. I had so much hope for you. I don't think these products are bad. They're not what I would want them to be, but we have some good ones coming up, so stay tuned. And now we start to get into the good products because I really do feel like this is a brand where it has a lot that I don't like, but it also has a lot that I like. The Total Reboot AHA BHA Enzyme Peel. This one immediately caught my eye because I'm all about peels. I think they're really fun. You guys know I love the ordinary AHA BHA solution just because sometimes it's really satisfying to just give your face an overhaul. Just exfoliate the fuck out of your skin. Look like a new bitch. It's great. And this one, as opposed to your typical peel, I felt like had really good ingredients. Glycolic acid is at the top of this ingredient list, which was immediately assigned to me that like, okay, this might sensitize my skin because I do have a slight sensitivity to high concentrations of glycolic acid, but I still want to give it a try. Gluconolactone, which is a polyhydroxy acid that's much more gentle than your typical alpha hydroxy acid, and one of my favorite exfoliating ingredients. It also has propanediol, which is great for nourishing the skin. Bambusa extract, which I was very impressed to see, which is great for reducing redness and irritation. Salicylic acid, great for anyone who has oily or acne prone skin, and lactic acid, a great alpha hydroxy acid that's a little bit more gentle than glycolic acid. So this formula was definitely fully loaded. The only thing I wasn't crazy about is that it is formulated with, can you guess it, fragrance, as well as yellow and blue dye. However, this is only a 10-minute treatment and then you wash it off afterwards and use a cleanser. It's solely meant to rapidly exfoliate your skin, which is where I'm a little bit more forgiving, where I'm interested to try. Really, my issue with fragrance comes with products that you're supposed to leave on your skin all day or all night, because that increased amount of time you're exposing your skin to it, there's just more and more risk building up. I used this one. I was immediately surprised to find that it was like a little bit grainy, but nothing intense, and left barely any of a scrubbing sensation when I actually removed it. Thankfully, I didn't notice any stinging. I noticed a tiny bit of tingling, but that's normal for masks like this. And sometimes really strong peels can push my skin a little bit over the edge, and I was happy to see that this didn't cause redness, it didn't cause irritation, I didn't notice any stinging sensation, and my skin looked good after. Was it like the most amazing exfoliating mask I've ever used in my life? No, but it was good. It got the job done, and it didn't increase the sensitivity in my skin, which is a win, because a lot of times strong peels like this with glycolic acid can be a little bit too much for my skin, and I find myself rinsing it off right after I applied it. So I liked this one. Not a fan of the fragrance again, but I don't think it's a bad one, and I actually enjoyed it. Next up, we have an unexpected find. I did not expect to like this one as much as I did, but it is the Palm Reader Adaptogen Nourishing Hand Cream. Now, I have been on the lookout and testing out a bunch of different hand creams because you guys know having to use so much hand sanitizer because of the pandemic is just not fun, and it dries my hands out really, really, really quickly. And I used to struggle a lot with eczema on my hands, so I need to be really aware of properly hygiening them. And I got this kind of just like, we'll see how it goes. Most hand creams feel very heavy. Sometimes they're good at hydrating, but more oftentimes than not, they feel heavy, they don't last very long, and they leave a whole mess of thumbprints on my phone. And when I started using this, I loved it because it's so lightweight and it sinks into the skin really quickly, but it does a good job of hydrating your hands. I was very impressed, and when I used my phone afterwards, I didn't notice notice like any stickiness or any residue left over on my phone, which is always a win. Whenever I find a hand cream like that, I'm like, yes, God, this is a keeper. And this one is definitely a keeper, so I have it in my car. But looking at the ingredient list as well, I was super impressed. It has glycerin, avocado oil, one of my favorite nourishing oils, sunflower seed oil, mango seed butter, which is great for really moisturizing the skin. And yeah, I've really been enjoying this one. And if you are someone who's on the lookout for a good hydrating hand cream that doesn't feel overly heavy, I do recommend this one. Then we get, drum roll, to my favorite product, and one that may be in my favorite skincare of 2021. We shall see, but I was totally blown away by how much I love this product and how needed it is in the industry. The Acai Nightly Cleansing Balm. Can you tell that it has been used? And this is after I cleaned it. This product is bomb as hell. So let me describe to you my frustration with trying to find a good cleansing balm. Here's the thing. There are so many cleansing balms on the market, but they utilize this one ingredient that bugs the heck out of me. It's called polyethylene. I mean, polyethylene literally is the majority of plastics that we find in our environment. Now, polyethylene in cosmetics can be really nice because it gives this nice slip to cleansing balms and moisturizers. It feels super nice on the skin, but there's conflicting data and not much known about the environmental impact of polyethylene going down the drains into our oceans and affecting animal life. And given that there is that uncertainty, I really don't like when I see cosmetics use polyethylene, especially because I'm like, there's so many other better ingredients out there. Why aren't we using those, and why are we settling for plastic? And there's so many other ingredients that could be considered plastics, but honestly, my main issue is just with polyethylene because there's no skirting around it. It's plastic. Okay, and so I'm always on the lookout for cleansing balms that don't have polyethylene, but it is really difficult to find them. And usually when I find some, they get sold out so quickly and are like basically impossible to find, or they're very expensive. And this one is polyethylene free, which makes me very happy. Not to mention, it's primarily formulated with safflower seed oil, a great oil for breaking down makeup and dirt on the skin, as well as sunscreen. Caprylic triglyceride, which is great. It's usually found in moisturizers, but also great in a cleansing balm. Grapeseed oil, sunflower seed oil, and shea butter, all of which are really nourishing and good ingredients to use as a replacement for your typical polyethylene-based cleansing balm. It does have fragrance, but here's the thing. I'm okay with fragrance in my wash-off treatments, but I will say I was so surprised when I opened this because the fragrance is hardly there. It is really difficult to notice, and this is coming from someone where one of my favorite cleansing balms, the Then I Met You cleansing balm, is fragranced as fuck, but I still love it. So I was honestly surprised to find that this really isn't very fragranced, and best of all, it works so beautifully on the skin. It really emulsifies easily when you add water, so it's super easy to rinse off. It breaks down all my sunscreen super well. It feels so soft. It spreads so nicely. You really don't have to work it into your skin very much. It feels amazing. Honestly, this is such a high quality product and one that totally blew me away. And like I said, maybe in my best of 2021, but at the very minimum is one of my favorite cleansing balms ever. If you are considering getting anything from the brand, I highly recommend checking this one out because it's bomb. So now that we've gone through everything, what are my thoughts on the brand? Here's the thing. Honestly, I don't feel like this is too different of a brand than what I'm usually used to seeing on the market. A brand that utilizes some pretty cool ingredients and definitely have good formulas, but still include irritants that I'm not personally a fan of. Now, the brand does have some products that I like and I really enjoyed using. However, I would prefer if in the future they kind of open up their formulas to be a little bit more mindful of people who may have sensitivities to dyes, sensitivities to fragrance, and be a little bit more transparent about the ingredients that they use. I feel like this is a really Gen Z focused line, and I feel like in some ways they hit the mark in terms of like innovative ingredients. They're definitely not like a lot of brands out there that you see that are just focused on aesthetics, just focused on colors and fragrance, and have nothing to offer when it comes to ingredients. But at the same time, they're still a little bit over the line and still, in my opinion, a little bit too focused on the aesthetics instead of the formulas. And if there's one thing we've learned from Gen Z, they are very focused on formulas, and I love them for it. Overall, I have to say, and this is me trying to be as unbiased as possible, separating Emma from it, I think this is an okay brand. Not the worst I've seen, not the best I've seen, but definitely have some good picks, and fortunately have a really bomb product that I love. It's not very often that I find one of these brands that does include a single product that really, really impresses me, and for that reason, I do like this brand, but they definitely don't like amaze me, and if anything, I'll keep using my hand cream, I'll keep using my cleansing balm, and I'm going to keep my eyes on them in the future, because I really think they have the potential to release a lot of cool formulas down the road. And that brings me to one final note that I just want to say. I noticed when this brand launched, and Emma was the face of this brand and announced that this was basically her skincare brand, she did get a lot of negative responses. And I was made aware of this and I was able to see it myself, but a lot of the people who were commenting on her formulas were complaining about the fragrance formulated in these products, which I totally understand. I'm someone who doesn't like fragrance and I think it's fine to voice your opinions about that. But I noticed that a lot of the comments were saying, "You're friends with Hyram. Why would you endorse or use products that feature ingredients that he's completely against?" And a lot of people were kind of shocked and upset that she liked products that don't fall in line with my personal skincare philosophy. And here's the thing that I want to say. I love my channel and creating content because videos, I'm able to share my personal skincare opinions, philosophies, and beliefs with you guys, hopefully to help introduce you to the world of skincare, but also introduce you to my skincare opinions. That being said, I do not think it is okay to hold someone else accountable for my skincare opinions. Everyone has different opinions and beliefs when it comes to skincare, and some people love fragrance, and that is okay. There are so many products out there that are fragrance to the gods that they will love and enjoy, and that is okay. And it's okay for someone to have a completely different opinion about specific ingredients or formulas than me. There are so many creators out there that I've talked to, I've recommended products to them, I've sent them products, and they've told me, hey, you know, thank you, but these products really didn't work for me, and I'm gonna stick to these specific types of products that have ingredients that you don't like, but I found work best for my skin. And I'm like, that's fine. Who am I to force you to think a certain way or use certain products? On my channel, I'm able to be super brutally honest about my personal opinion, but that in no way should dictate what other people use. And for people to show Emma negativity because her favorite products don't fall in line with my personal skincare philosophy, I think it's a little bit much. And I don't think that's okay. And I think we need to remember that even if you share my personal skincare philosophies and opinions, that doesn't give you an excuse to be negative towards someone else because they don't have that philosophy. It's clear that Emma loves these products and they've worked really well for her skin. That's totally fine, and I respect that. And I feel like we need to remember that. And in my videos, I always try and make sure that I am only expressing my opinion, but that I never express any negativity, any bullying, or any unproductive criticism towards the people I'm reacting to in skincare routines or the brands that I'm talking about. I always want to make sure that it's constructive. And what I've seen a lot circulating online around this brand launch is unproductive criticism, bullying, and just overall negativity that I don't think needs to be there. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. Regardless of what I feel about this brand or these products, I still love Emma, and I'm so glad I was able to find products that I love, but I can still have my personal skincare philosophy about some of these products, and that's totally fine. And I hope we can all respect that. Oh, by the way, if you do want to support Emma, but you're not like totally in line with the skincare line, buy her coffee. Trust, it is so good. I am definitely someone who's very picky about the coffee that I drink, but her coffee is bomb. She's come out with so many more flavors, some of which really energize me, which is exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to coffee. And it's a great brand. You should totally support her. Regardless, congratulations, Emma, on this brand launch. I hope you'll be able to take some of my feedback and hopefully present it to your team. Maybe, maybe not. But if nothing else, thank you for making a bomb-ass cleansing balm formula, because I love it. And what do you guys think of this brand? Do you like the ingredients? Do you not like the ingredients? Have you tried some of the formulas out? What are your opinions? I would love to know in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and to the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah.